Greetings, Dumelan Sangbonani Absheni. Welcome to Healing Sessions. I am your host, Shaun Palani, known as aka Fenti Grande Fenti Lala Mutahura Dilo Di Rachale. So, best believe today on Healing Sessions is a show all about mental state, mental awareness, health, self-care, as well as trauma experiences. So today we've got a special guest. Her name is Nasreen. Hi Nasreen, how are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm good.
I'm good, thanks. Nasreen, can you tell us more about yourself? Before we get any further, let's learn more about you because you're an activist and yes.
So, what would you like to know about me? There's so much to know about me.
Uh,
I woman empowerment speaker. I'm a
yes.
woman empowerment activist. I'm part of quite a number of organizations that help with women empowerment. I'm part of a lot of charity drives that also go with women empowerment. And basically, I recently certified as a trauma debriefer. So I am dealing with abused women and kids. That's my forte, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. A little background into me: I am a suicide survivor,
Yes.
and I honestly believe that the Almighty has given me a second chance to help others who, like me, at that moment when I reached that dead end, felt I had nowhere to go. So basically, I want to be that beacon of hope for women who feel like we have nowhere to go or nowhere to voice ourselves. So
Uh,
yeah, that's me. And
so Nashri, tell me about what triggered the suicide at that time.
well, basically 8 years ago, I decided to end it all because um, my partner was cheating on me. Um, I use the word cheating loosely, but it's been multiple affairs. We actually ended up writing a book together,
Mm-hmm.
his journey and mine.
Mm-hmm.
We go through because most of the time I feel that we concentrate on the fault of the partner that was cheating and not what actually pushed them to do what they did.
Yes.
I'm not condemning, saying that it's right, but I'm saying there is many factors behind it that actually push a person to actually want to do something like that.
Yes. So
So 8 years reached that end. So I had nowhere to go. I had no one to speak to. I moved away from my hometown, so I was kind of isolated.
mhm.
So I felt like I had no one to turn to, and I felt that was my only way out.
So let's talk about your abusive situation in that relationship. Was it more emotional? Was it physical? What was it like?
It was everything you can put down and more.
Mm,
Mental abuse, physical abuse,
mm,
financial abuse.
mm,
We don't really know what financial abuse is, but it's actually things that happen to women. Now that I'm counseling people, I
mm,
see that it happens so often. And when I was going through it, I was wondering, what is this?
mm,
And when you learn from others or when you hear other stories, you're like, oh my goodness, I went through something just like that.
mm,
And use that story as a tool for them to actually move forward. I have a lot of ladies who come up to me and actually think that I'm remarried.
mm.
I'm actually with the same partner. We were just talking last night, and it's 19 years we together. So, I always advocate that you shouldn't stay with a cheating partner, but you should always give someone a chance to show you that they can change, because we as humans, we do make mistakes,
Yes.
and it's up to us to from them and move forward. But with me, it was multiple affairs, and I actually grew from that. It actually made me the person I am today. I have a lot of people that tell me I'm absolutely strong, and I have to agree with them. I
Mm.
am absolutely strong. I can take anything life has to throw it at me and turn it into a positive.
I agree with that. And in that moment of the abuse and everything and the financial abuse, the mental abuse, the physical abuse, how did you survive that? Like just to get a brief clarification. How did you survive that abuse?
So I have 3 kids,
Yes.
and I think they are the pillars of support in my life.
Mm.
Always have been, always will be. Um, They are amazing, amazing individuals. I look at them and I wonder, wow, these amazing people came out of such trauma. They would watch us fighting, breaking things, throwing things, lashing out at each other. And I've never seen that type of behavior in my kids. Normally they mirror it when they see it, but I've never seen anything like that in my kids. It's always positivity from them, high achievers, things like that. And I think I drew strength from that and the fact that I have an amazing partner. Aside from he's cheating, he is an amazing person.
Yes.
Generally, a lot of people who meet him actually like his personality.
Yes.
So that's what kept me going.
Yeah, since you spoke that it kept you going, I wanted to know, how did you learn as well to trust again, to give your heart again wholeheartedly, to express your emotions in your relationship with your partner at that time? How did you learn to trust
Communicate.
again? Yes.
Communicate. I think it is such an underrated word we take for granted.
Yes.
Sometimes you speaking and their message is not going across.
Yeah.
Or the other person's not understanding what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel that we need to listen to what that person is saying, because there's a lot of raw emotion in it at that moment that we tend to overlook because we are busy screaming at each other or whatever it is. And I think understanding is one of the other things that come in when learning to trust again, is an understanding that two separate individuals trying to work as one unit. And a lot of clashes happen. Sometimes you might disagree with certain things and sometimes you would not like certain things. And we tend to bottle it up and say, okay, we're going to deal with it. But we don't really deal with it. And it becomes this little volcano that's about to erupt. And when it erupts, it's not very pretty sometimes.
Oh yeah, since I heard that you spoke about you and your husband writing a book at that time, so each and everybody's got their own side of their story. So tell me more about that book, and when was it published, and how did you guys sit down and brainstorm the whole idea of your book?
So I love writing. I've got over 1,000 letters that I've written over the years.
Yes.
And one day I was just sitting down and all of these pages were torn and getting frayed at the edges. And I started entering them digitally. And we spoke about a blog. So I started writing. And he came home one day and he just WhatsApped me a little snippet of what he's written. And eventually we were like, why don't we put this into a book? Because 90% of the time, people always blame one person. We don't know what happens to the other person that's being cheated on and the one that's cheating. We don't get both sides of the story.
Yes.
We always hear what the negative side of that story is. We don't see what pushed that person to do it. And we realized that there were so many faults in both of us.
Yes.
Where we would not address, just basically brush it under the carpet and move forward. And when that carpet gets that big bump, you're going to stumble over it. It's bound to happen. And learning to trust again is actually my little baby. I chose that name because it's not about learning to trust your partner. It's about learning to trust decisions that you as an individual make. It's about trusting yourself. So that's where learning to trust again came from. It's not about trusting the people that did you wrong. It's about trusting you and what you are capable of.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. On that note, since you like I've got a motherly figure going down, I would like to know about your motherly platform that you're running online. How are you saving lives out there? How are you speaking to people? What is the motivation and the drive behind that?
So I have an online platform called Learning to Trust Again.
Yes.
Facebook page. It's a private page, so everything said there is absolutely confidential.
Yes.
I've got a video on there. I've got a social worker and I've got a few life coaches, a transformational coach. I've got all these women who have selflessly dedicated their time for free to help these women in need.
Yes.
So basically, you come on the platform, you tell us what you need, and we will try the best possible way to help you forward.
Yes. If if you were to give advice to mothers out there that have kids and who are going through the same thing that you were going through at that time, what advice would you give them and what would you tell them?
Don't stay because of your kids. You cause more damage to them by the trauma they witness than living in two separate happy homes, than living in one broken home.
Yes. That's a very, very amazing advice. And then I wanted to know, where can people get you on your social media platforms, since you've got all these social media groups, social media activations? Where can people find you if they're looking for you, if they want help from you or they want to contact you? Where can people find you?
So my Facebook name is Nasreen Bucks Sayed. That's NASREEN BUXSAYED. I've got an online counseling platform. It's called Learning to Trust Again. Then I'm also part of two amazing projects here in the East Rand of Johannesburg. We are based in Benoni. It's the Benoni Muslim Charity Organization.
Yes.
I've recently joined them. So they run a program called WOW. It's Women of Worth. So this is an amazingly strong tribe of women, I must tell you. They have come from fires and they are roaring and rising. You know, they're absolutely amazing. So basically, their motto is to empower the youth of today to make better choices tomorrow.
Yes.
And I think that's absolutely amazing, because if you have a strong foundation going forward, you have the blocks to stand on in life and take on whatever challenges life has to throw at you.
Also, Nasri, what was your most challenging moment through this whole journey of the abuse, the backlash, the suicidal thoughts? What was your most challenging moment?
So for me, I think it was coming out and speaking about it and getting backlash from a community that you thought would stand with you.
Yes.
You know, I would get lashed at for speaking out against the indiscretions of my partner. I would get lashed out for actually staying for so long. You know, all of the negative. I actually took it and turned it into a positive, because here I am 8 years later, helping my community to better themselves.
Yeah. Okay. And then on that note, I wanted to know as well, what would you tell a newly profound couple or somebody who's just gotten into a new relationship? What would you advise that person if the partner starts becoming abusive or becoming different at that point? What's your words of encouragement to them?
Firstly, they need to realize it is not your fault. A lot of the time, we blame ourselves for our partner's behavior or characteristics. You know, we realize we come from two separate backgrounds. So sometimes what you used to is not what you get. And also, you need to realize that sometimes some relationships are not worth saving. You know, if it's going to carry on for years, if it's going to break you mentally and physically, you need to get out. You know, and there is life after a relationship ends. A lot of the time, and I'm going to be biased here and say a lot of the time, we as an Indian community, we tend to judge people on the basis of how a relationship works. We have these ideals from 100 years ago where relationships were so simple, and we bring them forth now and we expect everyone to live by the same principles. You know, everything moves forward, and so does your mindset. And I think people need to realize that as well.
Yeah. So, Nasri, in your journey, in your whole journey of abuse and being backlash, and who were the main people who were involved in your life who helped you get through? Did you get professional help? Were they family, friends? How did you get through all that drama at that moment?
So I have a very, very supportive family. They are the best. But yeah, they're very supportive. Whether I chose to stay, whether I chose to leave this relationship, they were always backing me. And the doors were always open. I could always walk in at any time, but I chose to stay because I didn't want that stigma of she left her marriage, or it didn't work out. Something wrong with me, or there's something wrong with him. I didn't want that stigma to follow us.
Yes.
So I chose to stay, fight for something that I believed was worth that fight.
So after all those years that you guys have been through backlash and fighting, and what made you fall in love with him again and still be with him today?
Like I told you previously, he's an amazing person. He is an amazing father. As a friend, he's one of these. I can't even explain to you. He's someone you can talk to. He is someone you can vent to. So I think that is one of the characteristics that actually made me stay.
Yeah.
When it came to everything, he was on point with everything, from taking care of his kids to seeing that we had everything. It was just me that was, I would say, bearing the brunt of his abuse. My kids never experienced that. So that's a good thing on my part.
Yes.
Because I made them realize, just how detrimental, trauma can be for both people and everyone around you in your house, because it's toxic for everybody.
Yes.
You're walking on eggshells, you don't know how people are going to react. It's all of that. And I have now implemented, and I just want to share with your listeners, a very, very, I think, fundamental part of your everyday.
Yes.
It's called a no judgment table, which is basically my kitchen nook.
Yes.
You can come and sit there and you can tell me anything.
Yes.
If it warrant a severe punishment,
Yes.
it's fine. You can. And I think my kids have opened up so much. I've got an almost 16-year-old son.
Yes.
And he comes to me about anything on that table.
Yes.
After supper, we have a discussion every single day.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 minutes, you tell me how your day was, what went down, what happened, did anyone make you feel in any sort of way, and we work on that. And I think it's so important in this day and age to actually talk to our teens, because we're so caught up in our lives, we actually miss them out sometimes.
Yeah.
Hello, with your day it might sound so trivial to you, but it might be that opening for them to tell you something that's really going down.
Okay. That's That's amazing words, Nasri. So I wanted to know from you, what is your biggest achievement right now, and what are you working on further from here?
My biggest achievement is, I think I started studying almost 3 years ago.
Yes.
Doing every course I could find about mental health, trauma, and everything I could find.
Yes.
And empowering me and my girls. I've got 2 daughters, and I need them to see that when you can be anything, you need to be strong.
Yes.
And I need my son to see that women are not just a wife or a mother.
Yes.
They're so much more than, they need respect, they need love, they need understanding, all of that. And I'm so proud. He's a little gentleman when it comes to that. And I'm
mother, you deserve a Mother of the Year award. And I wanted to know, what are you busy with currently? What is your main focus? What are you focusing at the moment, and what is driving you forward to help people out there? Just want to get a clarification from you there.
So basically, it's 2 projects that we're busy with. I've joined an amazing group of women. It's called Women of Worth, like I was telling you earlier.
The Benoni one.
So we meet on a Friday between 3 and 4, and an event. You get there's professionals there that will help you. And I think during this time, when everyone's like hidden away in their houses and whatever, it's a little escape that you get, to be amongst people who've been through trauma like you've been through, who've been through things like you've been through, and to know that you are not alone in this journey. Yes. You have an amazing sisterhood going, and another one that they've just started, and I'm also proud of that one because I'm one of the mentors there.
Yes.
So basically, it's sister outreach.
Yes.
And they basically take girls and we mentor them, young girls, we mentor, give them a kind of a big sister support, if I may say so.
Yes.
And we've got exciting news coming up. So on the 27th of November, we plan to have a mass Mother-Daughter Day.
Yes.
Here in the East Rand of Johannesburg.
Okay.
So there's going to be, team building, games, water slides, you name it, we're going to have it. And it's basically to make or to help mothers and daughters bond. Because I think a lot of the time we're so busy working, we're so busy taking care of the household, we're so busy, with school runs, this after school activities, we don't have time to actually sit down and say, hey, what's going on in your life?
Yeah, true. I agree with you very much on that. The life has become so fast that not even everybody has noticed that we forget each other sometimes. The kindness always goes a long way. So on that note, I wanted to know from you as well that if you could give words of encouragement out there to each and every man and woman that is going through something mentally, what encouragement would you give them? Side.
I would say set alone time for you and your partner. It is so, so important. Like you were saying, life has become a rat race. We're rushing around and doing everything. We don't have the time to sit down. So we have this rule in our house where we sit down 15 minutes for just us, me and my husband. How was your day? What did you do? What's going down? What's happening in the next week? What projects I'm involved in, what he's involved in. It makes for a better relationship because now you have an understanding like, oh, you know what? He's a bit uptight because he has big projects coming up, or she's running around not paying attention to me because she has these projects that she's busy with. Before it would be he's ignoring me or I'm ignoring him, not finding out why we are ignoring each other. We're busy with other things and the relationship just goes on a back burner. And I think it's so important for couples to set aside time for each other, even if it's 15 minutes every single day, just to find out what's going on.
Okay. And then for the mothers out there, it's always maternal instincts that push in sometimes, that you want to stay into relationships because of the father. You want the kids to grow up in a healthy environment. But what if the environment is not healthy? What would you give to mothers? When is the right time for them to leave?
I would assume it would be after a counseling session. If you see that are not turning out for the better, if it's going back to the way it was, if there's no change in the partner or yourself, it's time to move on, because like I said earlier, you're not only damaging yourself in the process, you're damaging everyone in that household.
Yes.
We might but later on in life, it comes forth, there's drug abuse, there's physical abuse. Kids turn to other things to dull that pain that they feel they cannot vent. And then we wonder what went wrong.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nasreen, for that amazing words of encouragement. And it was always a pleasure speaking to you. We would like people to follow you on your social media platforms so you can spread your word and people can know what is right for them. So thank you very much, Nasreen. Till we speak again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Been amazing.
It's only a pleasure.
Take care.
So listeners, as you saw, Healing Sessions is here to heal your wounds, to bring you to a comfort zone where you can express yourself. So on that note, I will see you soon next week. This is another episode with your boy, the Duke Shonizi, aka Fenty Grande. So yeah, cheers. Check you later.